Thank you, Ken, for having me here. This is the first time I've ever been in here not drinking a lot. Pretty good. This is a nice place. I didn't realize. I really appreciate you having me here. We got our matchup this week, Thursday night in Strawberry Stadium in Hammond. It's going to be a heck of an atmosphere. Looking forward to it. Playing Nicholls State. I think when you start looking around at the state of Louisiana and the state of college football in Louisiana, you realize how special this state is. And when I took over the Southeastern job, the majority of the players on our football team were not from Louisiana. And I'm flipping that. I'm turning that over. We signed 23 guys this year, 22 of them from the state of Louisiana. And I'm going to continue to do that. When you look at Nicholls State roster and what Tim Rebo has done there, he has kind of set forth the model for what you want from a consistency standpoint. He came into a place and he started recruiting Louisiana high school kids. And those kids, he's grown them up in 4th and 5th year players, and he's won a couple of conference championships and been to the playoffs. And that's what we want to do at Southeastern from a consistency standpoint. Not only win conference championships, but go to the playoffs and be on a national stage. And he's kind of blazed the trail for that. We know how, when you look at Louisiana Tech and what they're doing at LSU and Tulane and Grambling, and Northwestern's won 3 in a row, and Lafayette's having a hell of a year. The kids in Louisiana are good enough to win on a national level at every level. And we feel like at the FCS level, especially at Southeastern, we can do that. So we want to be able to do that. We're going to recruit those kids, and we're going to get them there, and we're going to grow them up, and we're going to build them, and it might take some time. We're trying to accelerate that process, which is what we're doing. We're going to play between 10 and 15 freshmen the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And because of that, those guys are growing, and we're getting some maturity on our football team. But there's going to be some times that we know we're going to take our lumps, and those things will happen. I want to thank all of y'all, especially members of the media. But if you guys got a chance to come out there Thursday night, I think we're going to have a great atmosphere. Weather's going to be great. We sell beer and liquor at the games. The tailgating is going to be good. But I think it's 2 programs who really represent the state of Louisiana, especially South Louisiana. And if you get a chance to come on out, please come out. We really appreciate you guys having you guys out there with us. So, Ken, is there anything else? Questions? I'll take some questions. Yes, sir. The microphone, they lost it. Yes.
How does that relate to your planning recruiting?
It does affect it. We're on the transfer portal every day. He's asking about the transfer portal. We're on the transfer portal every day, so you're constantly contacting those guys who put themselves out there from other universities. But for us, there's a reason why they're leaving, and we do our due diligence from that standpoint. So if there's a guy that we don't feel like is going to fit the culture that we're building there at Southeastern, we just move on and go in a different direction. There'll be a place for him to go to. It's just not going to be with us. We don't. We go sign, for us, we're going to go sign the best players that we can. And if we have scholarships left over, we've got scholarships left over. We're not going to use scholarships up on guys that we don't feel like can come in and help us. This year we'll recruit heavily on offense. Last year was a heavy defensive year from a recruiting standpoint. So we won't sign as many defensive players this year. There's going to be some guys out there that are really good players that we won't sign because we're filled up at those positions already through the signing class that we just had. So it's a rotation deal, and it happens at every university. But from the transfer portal, from a transfer standpoint, if there's a guy that fits into what we're looking for, and we have a spot for him, then we'll go ahead and take him. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach. I want to say congratulations on your success, because having that Red Bell rivalry is really good for this region, and having it to be for a championship, that's really exciting for this whole area.
Yeah, it is. It's I didn't understand it, the River Bell Classic, and I just never got to be a part of it. The rivalry between Nicholls and Southeastern. Last year was my first time, and Coach Rebo and them just beat our ass 44-0. I just can't say they plainer than that. I think he ran a score up, but I'm not sure. I saw the passion. You saw the passion, and our fans, a disappointment, but you saw the passion down at Thibodeau with their fans as that game was going on, and their players celebrating the fact that they won it. And, so you kind of get tied up into that. So I got a better understanding this year, and hopefully it won't turn out like that.
So what do you think is key for you to get a victory in this game?
I'm sorry?
What do you think is going to be the key to get a victory?
Score more points than they get. That's going to be a big deal for us. Yeah, that's a big deal for us. Is we can outscore them. We want to make sure we do that. Yes, ma'am, Miss Lady.
Are you?
There's so many people here, man. It's just so good to see y'all. It's awesome to come back.
Are you restricted to the 25 sightings that the NCAA
No,
has
we can go all the way to 30.
Okay.
We can go to 30 because we're able to split our scholarships. We don't all have to have full scholarship. We have 63 instead of the 85. So we can go to 30. We can actually sign 30 guys each year and bring them in for the classes, which we did this past year and we'll do again this year.
I was asked to ask you this, how's your brother doing, Chris?
Which one? Chris?
Chris.
He's a little overweight.
That's all I need to know.
He's doing good. He's coaching now. He's the offensive line coach, run game coordinator with the DC Defenders of the XFL. He's that league's starting up, so he's up there doing that. They're getting ready, as they're getting prepared for their season. They just had the draft, so they got training camp and stuff like that coming up. Yeah, he's doing good. His son Joseph is on our staff, coaches the offensive line, does a heck of a job. We'll lose him in a year or two. Somebody's gonna come in and steal him because he's a really good coach. Does a great job recruiting too.
Hey, Frank, I got a quick question. Tim's not sitting here, all right?
Okay.
The fans want to know something.
All right. You're not a fan, but what do you want to know?
What's your strategy to stop Chase 4K?
I don't think you stop. It's a good question. We're honest with our players.
You can tell everybody what
We don't. You don't stop it. Nobody's ever stopped him. So we're not going to stop him. What you hope is to limit the big plays that he has. That's what you got to do. You got to limit the amount of big plays that he has, and then when we have the ball on offense, we can't let him have it. So the turnover factor becomes key for us. Besides the points, it's the turnovers. So if we don't give them the football, he's not on the field, so we don't have to worry about him. We got to keep the football, and we can't turn it over. I'm sure Tim will say the same thing, but turnovers are going to be key in this game because whoever you start turning the football over and giving the other guys an at-bat, an extra at-bat, good players take advantage of that, and Chase is definitely a good player, so he's going to take advantage of that. So that's what we got to do. We got to limit that.
I thought we were looking for a little more strategy. What is that? What kind of front, secondary, like score more points?
Yeah, that score more points thing's a big deal. Everybody underestimates that, but I'm telling you, it works.
It works.
Hell yeah. Anything? Thank y'all so much. I got to run out of here. We got practice. We got a big game coming up on Thursday. Thank y'all so much.